Hey everybody, Will Roberts here. I am a professional actor of over 35 years. Recent credits, General George C. Marshall and Oppenheimer, and blah, blah, blah. So here's a question for you today. What is the one thing that can quietly ruin a great self-tape before casting directors or directors even notice your performance? Now look, most actors think that it's their acting, and well, it might be, but look, you feel like you didn't push hard enough, or that you should have done more than one take, or maybe less than one take. But the truth is, casting can't even get to your performance if there's friction. By friction, I mean that there's bad lighting, or I mean that poor audio, unstable framing, or instructions that weren't followed. That's a biggie. Now, all of these are making it harder for casting to watch your self-tape. And when it's hard to watch, they disconnect. They always talk about that connection, the realism. They don't really lean into it. They kind of lose interest. They'll watch the whole thing in most cases, but they don't fully engage with your acting. And that's exactly why I built MyAuditionAI.com. Now, this is something I designed to remove all the friction by focusing on the technical aspects and the elements that interface with your performance. So you don't have to think about all this other stuff, you just have to act. Now look, back when COVID happened and we all had to start self-taping, the bottom line was that we had to learn these skills, and now we are constantly trying to figure out how to make them work. And look, when you use MyAuditionAI.com, your self-tapes become clearer, focused, and effortless for the casting and the directors to watch, so that they can eventually really get to see you, because that's all they really want is you. I'm Will Roberts, and again, I've spent over 35 years in the business. I've seen firsthand how self-tapes can completely change the audition process. Now, a lot of actors like to be in the room, but that's not happening as much anymore. Now, once actors lost the real-time feedback of the room, they were left guessing how their performances landed. They weren't getting feedback all the time. I mean, honestly, I do a lot of self-taping. I don't get a lot of feedback. That's either good or bad. It could be because I'm doing the job I'm doing, or it could be just because they don't have time to really engage in everybody. So I developed a system to eliminate the friction from self-taping process, all right? And stick around to the end. I'm going to give you some great tips and maybe even an ebook that you might be able to utilize and maybe get yourself on the top, because isn't that what it's all about? A, B, C, A-lister. And that system that I'm using is the same thing that eventually caught Christopher Nolan's attention and helped me land the role of General George C. Marshall in Oppenheimer. Now, the principle is simple. Remove anything that distracts casting from your performance, whether it's the camera setup, framing, lighting. I see this all the time. Sound is bad, your reader's too loud, you're too soft, whatever. My AI, or MyAuditionAI.com, helps you really make sure that casting directors are focusing solely on your acting, your performance, all right? It gives you clear feedback, by the way, which you can hit by uploading your self-tape. It gives you an authentic, emotional understanding of what you've done. It's a scale from 1 to 100. It's to see whether or not you've accomplished what you're doing. Again, it's all about authenticity, emotional delivery, camera presence, and of course sound quality and the look. Because if they can't get past that, well, you're really no longer in the run. So I'm trying to do this so you're no longer guessing. Now, when you prep your self-tape, I always tell actors, here's the meat of the whole potato here, all right? When you start with this and you're doing what you're doing, you have to understand your framing, that you're filming horizontally, not vertically, even if you're doing a vertical audition. Give yourself the proper headroom and stay centered. Don't drift. Your eyes are really a gateway to the connection. And I mean this sincerely. Recently I was talking to a director on my show, and he said, a lot of people don't get eye line and understand that it really brings us into the frame. So If your frame is stable and focused, casting can connect with you without being distracted. Lighting is another crucial thing. Strong, even lighting allows casting to clearly see who you are, to see your eyes, and to read your performance. And by the way, side note and a tip is if you have a ring light, I always recommend that you turn it off to the side. Get the light and not the ring light, because you'll get that weird glow in your eyes sometimes. Or put a sheet over it to be able to make sure that you're not getting that, okay? Simply artificial lighting, something that's basic. It's like a three-point lighting, which we can explain, which is basically the two lights that are going on the backdrop and then your light here. It works incredibly well. And when the lighting is consistent and clear and clean, your performance shines without interference. Now look, I'm going to tell you this straight up, is that you don't need to be rich and you're like, oh damn, Will's going to give me a laundry list of things I need to do and get in order for me to be a professional actor. By the way, I'm in my closet right now. And I've created a studio in here because it allows me to do my voiceovers here. You don't have a bouncing sound, and the sound sounds a lot better, even if you're working off of a laptop or a desktop, all right? Look, my AI, of course, MyAuditionAI, also helps you stay present in the scene with built-in tools like a teleprompter with real voices that you can do, because I know how hard it is to find someone, and I don't want to go out and pay for a service to have someone read for me. Don't think so. So I've created this with AI scene partners. Now, I want to make something abundantly clear about MyAuditionAI.com. There is two different schools of thoughts here on AI. One is that, you know, the industry of film and TV is worried about it, you know, taking your voice and voice cloning, or filming you, or, you know, taking VEO3 or some of the other models now and making fake yous and avatars. That is not what this is. That is not with what I say about the AI that we use and that you can use on your own, like ChatGPT or MyAuditionAI.com. This is about helping you succeed and gaining the upper edge. Because look, let me be honest with you. If I was to put this together, a course, which I'm going to be doing very quickly, about how to do all this stuff, all I'm going to do and want to do is give you the hacks. Because we all went to acting school, or we learned how to act by acting, and now I think it's just a matter of trying to figure out in this day and age how to hack it and get at the top and get in front of people, all right? We're going to be doing that throughout our whole thing. And on MyAuditionAI.com, it helps you stay present in the scene with these tools. You get a lot of your work done beforehand, pre-production, and has built-in tools, like I said, like a teleprompter with an AI scene partner. You don't have to worry about, you know, managing logistics while you're trying to act, okay? But you do need to learn these things, because there's nothing better than an actor, because I've spoken to countless directors, and they've said, when an actor knows the shots, what we're doing, and knows the jargon, I'm going to tell you, it looks amazing on screen. Plus, we want to work with them all the time. The system basically that we have with MyAuditionAI.com, it really handles the other lines with the AI voices, so you can really stay grounded, responsive, and emotionally connected, all right? Ultimately, the goal is to have your self-tapes look effortless and amazing, so casting can watch them and they're not even concerned about anything else. If they're distracted by something else, then you've already lost them. When framing, lighting, and focusing are handled correctly, your performance lands clearly. MyAuditionAI.com ensures that all the technical elements work in harmony. Now, if you think this is just a commercial about that product, it is not. It is me just telling you some of the tips that I have on doing self-taping, which I'm going to have a whole course on later on. But it's about that and how I created this toolbox that is just mind-blowing. I've shown this to 20, 30 casting directors, and actors, and they all went, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But again, MyAuditionAI ensures that all of the technical elements are working in harmony with your acting, so you don't have to think about it. It's kind of like having a crew, your casting director, and a coach in one room going, no, try that, do this line like that. So casting can focus on your performance, not the setup. And to go even further, MyAuditionAI.com provides on-demand coaching and preparation tools. Whether you're working with Meisner, Stanislavski, or any other techniques, you can receive personal feedback instantly. I'm not kidding. You take your self-tape. One of my people in the app, she really swears by it. She goes, I put my tape in after I did it, and it gave her some really great notes. And she went, oh, I never thought about that. This really removes the uncertainty that actors often feel during preparation and allows you to approach every self-tape with confidence. And really, in my opinion, when people ask me, what is the key, Will, when they direct message me, they go, what's the key to successful acting? I always say the same things. I say confidence and making decisions in the scenes and what you're going to do. With this tool, MyAuditionAI.com, you can make those decisions, and I'll give you a little tip. Asking our coaches what happened before and what happened after, and you don't have the actual script, it's going to blow your mind. Because even though you're not putting this in the dialogue, you're going to put it in your performance because it's in the back of your head. When I was doing Oppenheimer, I studied for 3 months. General George C. Marshall, the Marshall Plan, everything about World War II, everything connected with him. So when I went into that room, or I did the audition, which by the way, I didn't have a callback, I booked it right off the first audition, which is amazing. I'm just here to tell you that I had it internally. I knew how that general would think. I mean, look, with MyAuditionAI.com, you're not just preparing a self-tape, you're making sure your performance reaches its fullest potential by removing the friction before anything happens, before you even start. You can give your work a space that it needs to shine. Now that you understand how friction can quickly hold you back in your self-tape, and you want to get in there and remove all that stuff, imagine how much more confident and your decisions will be made that you will feel knowing that your self-tape is clear, focused, and effortless for casting to watch. Look, that's it, okay? That's exactly what MyAuditionAI.com does, and it's designed to do. Now, look, I'm going to throw this out. If you're watching this, this is the tip at the end. If you want to get a free 7 days on this thing, and I'm going to give you credits because it's each individual tool thing takes a credit, and you want to experience the difference for yourself, I've had plenty of actors tell me that when they've done this, it's amazing. The fraction of time that it takes to put together an audition is mind-blowing, because I used to do this and tape that and do that, and then I'd do a reader and I'd change the voice, and not anymore. Now I shoot my stuff, I'm in my room, I do it, my studio, and really with actionable feedback and the ability to fine-tune your audition and your performance before casting even sees it, you'll know exactly where you stand and how to improve your whole self-tape and really your acting. Now, for more insight, I recommend you download the Self-Tape Hack ebook that you only know about because you're watching this, and this is the tip at the end, by clicking the link in the description. It's a comprehensive guide that breaks down the entire self-tape process so you can remove the friction from every audition and performance. You can also get the Self-Tape Clarifying ebook, which is the companion guide to this video. Use the link below. Make sure that you click and check the video description, all of it in there, for the download options. You see, with MyAuditionAI.com, you can finally remove the friction from your auditions and let your performance speak for itself. Be the real amazing actor that you are, okay? And stop acting. Just be. Thanks for staying with me. I'm Will Roberts. Thanks a lot. If any questions, let us know. Now go make your self-tape, all right? And be your best. And make decisions and be confident. And action! Man, it's cold in here.